What's up, everybody? Thank you for listening to the Flip Side Podcast, Flip Side for your ears. This is a quick hits edition where we go over one or two topics that'll get you through your commute, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, whatever you're doing. We appreciate any feedback, reviewing, subscribe, download, like, whatever your platform, however you get your podcast. Please hit the like, hit subscribe, and let's keep this thing rolling. Let's go.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Just a bit outside.
Oh my! He's on fire!
So this needs to be addressed. Just the other day, I saw one of those things, on social media where you see a post or you see a headline and you think this cannot be real, right? And as a boxing purist, a bit of a hipster, a snob, I guess you'd call it, I facepalm emoji'd myself. And I get it. I get the attraction of two 50-year-old all-time great fighters fighting each other. But this is excessive. Like, both of these guys have been hit in the head a lot. And I don't know what a 54-year-old Mike Tyson, first off, 51-year-old Roy Jones Jr. is going to prove or show anybody. But, it's sports. It's boxing. And I don't care who's boxing. I'll watch it. The undercard's got the YouTube kid, the Paul guy versus Nate Robinson, NBA slam dunk champion. So there's Vegas odds out on it. I'm not sure how they dictate that. And this Paul guy's had a few fights, and I'm sure they can get a baseline, but I don't know how many times any of these bookies have watched Nate Robinson fight. So it seems gimmicky, but it is what it is. It's Roy Jones Jr. It's Mike Tyson. Arguably, maybe not arguably, maybe they are the two biggest boxers of the 90s, of the 90s to 2000. I mean, you got Roy Jones, who's won, before Pacquiao won titles in 8 different divisions. Roy Jones was the guy, Mr. Versatile. He fought cruiserweight, he fought middleweight, he fought light heavy, eventually got to heavyweight. But, I'll tune in. It's Tyson. It's Roy Jones. It's my teenage years. They're fighting each other. I think Tyson opened as a pretty heavy favorite, minus 200, and it's coming back down to even, which I tend to agree with. I hit a little bit on it right when it opened. For Roy Jones. You don't want to go public, especially with somebody that's as beloved as Mike Tyson, and people are all over him. Roy Jones is a big name, but he's not big Mike Tyson big. Mike Tyson's the Hangover and one-punch knockouts, and he's Mike Tyson. He's the bad boy. He's the face tattoo. So that's going to drive the line a lot. But when it comes to from a boxing perspective, if I'm legitimately going to break down a Roy Jones fight Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson fight when they're both over 50 years old, here goes. Mike Tyson's never done well with counterpunchers. He's never done well with guys that are quick. And, I don't know how quick Roy Jones Jr. is anymore, but he's quicker than anybody else that Tyson's going to fight at 54 years old. So Roy Jones is one of the best all-around boxers of the past 30 years. He's not a natural heavyweight, so Tyson's got him in size, and Tyson's look good in workout videos, but we've seen this before. We saw guys try to come back, and they look great in workout videos, and you see it in football all the time. Like, T.O. can do as many sit-ups as he wants, but it's different when you're in there. So we'll see. I like Roy Jones in this fight. Never a big fan of either one of these guys as fighters. I understand their significance. I understand their importance, and it's a cool event. everything's a little slow. It was originally announced for September 12th. I don't think that's going to happen, personally, because I don't think everything's going to be safe to open back up. And, whoever's carrying this fight, whether it's DAZN or ESPN or HBO or whatever pay-per-view, they're going to want that. They're going to want that gate fee. They're going to want to put it in Staples Center or Cowboys Stadium, and they're going to want those ticket sales. So September 12th seems a bit ambitious because I don't think it's going to be in front of anybody. So, and who knows? Boxing, people talk about a fight and then it never happens. So we'll see. There's a lot better fights. I'm gonna do a podcast on combat sports in general. I haven't really come up with a name for it yet, but it's gonna be boxing and MMA, and it's gonna be less gimmicky fights. Real boxing. It's not for everybody, but if a Tyson and Roy Jones fight pops up again in the future, I'm sure we'll cover it. So, yeah, I think Roy's gonna win. I have no idea. I don't care neither. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to see if these guys still got it. We won't know if they still got it because they're fighting another 50-year-old. But it'll be good to see. It's nostalgic. A lot of Roy Jones fans are going to tune in, and he had a big following, and Mike Tyson had a big following, huge following, and I have my thoughts on why I think these guys were both a little bit overrated as fighters. I think they were both great, but I'm not as enthralled with their abilities as everybody else is. Their level of competition was not the greatest, and when they did fight the other elites, they weren't successful. So we'll see if these guys are fighting against elites or if they're just fighting against other old men. So if you're betting, take Roy Jones. You don't want to be. You might as well just take plus money. You have no idea. You might as well make as much as you can. So they both have knockout power. Roy Jones is more elusive, probably better footwork. He's 3 years younger. Tyson fought last in 2006. Roy Jones fought last in 2018. Not a legitimate fight. It was a exhibition against probably a tax attorney or something from his hometown. So, but he did fight in 2018 and he won. Mike Tyson did not win his fight in 2006. So, if it's any indication, which it probably isn't, take the plus money. You might as well get as much as you can out of it, because as much as you and I don't know, Vegas doesn't know either. So that's my advice. Roy should be an interesting fight, to say the least. Thank you for tuning in to the Flipside Podcast, Flipside for your ears. Again, like, subscribe, download, leave a review, and see you next time. Thank you.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. How silly is that?
Just a bit outside.